This week on New Music Friday, Benny the Butcher and Harry Fraud, Thanksgiving. Wow, this week's releases are rather pathetic. Griselda seems to be the only ones making a notable attempt here. Tim Buck says that there's a punchline about Anthony Edwards, Dunk of the Year, and Mike from Dead in Hip Hop still won't know who that is. I'm all for people building chemistry with experience. This is how great works are composed, but everyone involved must be pushing towards the next level, or this is an exercise of futility. If you are doing the same formula, same beats, same kind of bars, with the same kind of flow, then you will be making the same kinds of songs. Many will believe that will equate to the same kinds of success, but that's not true. Have you ever heard of the rule of diminishing returns? Basically, every time you do the same actions, the returns you acquire will be less. In the context of music, this relates to you becoming predictable and people losing interest as new artists are released yearly in the commercial industry. Therefore, all this music and notoriety that Benny the Butcher has spent years obtaining by sheer bulk will never reach the peak that he desires unless he makes an attempt to intrigue the minds of the people beyond the one sound that he's being known for. When other artists find themselves making the same music, the shortcut to diversifying themselves would be signing the polar opposite. Example, Rockefeller when they went on and signed Kanye and Rihanna after years of gangster music from the label, or Dr. Dre when he signed Eminem after years of that classic West Coast sound that he built. Sadly, Benny the Butcher's entire imprint sounds like Benny the Butcher. The reasoning? He's putting on that Buffalo sound, so much so like how Atlanta and Chicago has been doing the same songs for extended periods of time. The difference is, those cities have multiple people of influence doing it. Buffalo is really only you, Benny. So you were playing yourself out and the entire city before a bag could even be made. Listening to this song, I will say the slight deviation of production from Harry Fraud by including more percussion was a much needed adjustment. It makes the music more bearable, but let's not confuse this for being a game changer. No actual attempt at a hook or change at format, no bridge, no reprise, nothing but the same number of bars and a hook fill-in that he probably came up with on the spot. Does that ruin the song though? Nah, I like this one more than most. But because it's just thrown together, it leaves a lot of potential untapped. Basic concept is, he should be thanked for all he's done to this point, as other rappers try to hate, but they are really motivated by this hate, as he's criticized for what he does and as he continues his own progression. Sadly, it's that attitude why you haven't progressed in years. This is a song that should have been re-recorded to master the flow on the beat and made more complex, but it's fine for just a random song with no intention of anything more. The best bar being, he would be the Jacksons of Ye if they gave out plaques for the game. Still nothing super noteworthy, didn't make my playlist, but barely. This is where I would review the West Side Gun TV Boy, but that track seems to be slowly coming out. So let me just give you part 2 of my rant about the Buffalo style that has been mass produced and forced on people harder than Pepe Le Pew. This time let's look at it from a positive point of view, if we can call it that. It seems today's generation has been spoiled with an abundance of anything that they desire. When I was young, I had to go to Blockbuster once a week to get new entertainment, while today Netflix to Crunchyroll has everything you could possibly want to watch right now. Even in a pandemic, people have yet to watch everything that those places have to offer. So it makes sense that these artists forego quality for quantity and build a presence just for the fact that they are there. How many streamers do you know whose stream is absolute crap but have a massive following because they are streaming all the time? You can't get money unless you are there to pick it up. It's really the next level of what Master P was doing back in the 90s when he released 20 plus albums a year, and they would all sell at least 500,000 units going gold. Those numbers are no longer possible in this environment, but that work ethic seems to have tripled. Griselda as a whole has been ahead of the curve in that facet. The closest thing to this amount of musical flooding would be that Best Rapper Alive campaign from Lil Wayne, and that only lasted what, 2 to 3 years maybe? These guys are just now being widely known for this, but they have been flooding music for a while. We talking like around 2015, if not longer. Bravo for the work ethic. To make this sheer amount of music takes devotion on a deep level. My issue is that devotion has lasted longer than the passion for creativity. So instead of creating something unique, you have simply become the Ford Motor Company of music, belting out songs on an assembly line so fast that you make defective tracks more consistently than hits. At this particular moment, you get away with it because you are technically still new to the masses. And as I said, this style suits this generation. But you know what else fits this generation? Moving on to the next more popular sound that is mass promoted or interesting in the moment. If you aren't prepared for the moment music shifts on you, then you will never recover. Brent Faiyaz, Show You Off. Brent Faiyaz is one of the new artists that I've been watching. He seems to be a strong contender for the next freshman class if you give a crap about that at this point, and I know you don't. Usually, I would just let this song go by without saying anything, but how dry this week is, I kinda have no choice. He is one of those hybrid hip-hop singers who excel at crafting at the vibe over actual talent. Don't get me wrong, that can work if done properly, and I'm not the type to hate on anybody's dream of being successful. History tells us that it's the people with the work ethic who attain the success more than those blessed with God-given talent. The reason for this is the same with the Griselda team. How can you get the money if you aren't consistently there to earn it? Talent is the thing that takes your grind over the top to compete on the highest level of anything. But you can claw your way up with what Brent has to offer. To this point though, Brent hasn't released anything that has impressed me to the point that I would include it on a playlist. I simply hear unpolished potential that a good producer may be able to bring out. Someone like those who produced The Weeknd's trilogy but underground right now could help develop a sound with him, and I say The Weeknd specifically because you hear the influence. Brent is clearly on that bloodline and could become the next generation, but I need to hear something good, and this track wasn't it. AKA Wednesday to Friday, as the concept of the song is not wanting to lock a woman down and take her out to show her off to everyone, and that is something that most men don't do because of the insecurities that someone else might pull her, and those concerns may be warranted. Like, have you seen those prank videos of the guys out with the women and a guy tries to talk to her before jumping into his Ferrari? See how disloyal they are because they know that might be the only chance they got to get a man of more means? Let's be real, women can't be trusted like that, but I enjoy going out, so I bring women with me. End of the day, you shouldn't want to control people. Enjoy your time with them, and if they go, they go. So I'm okay with flossing your woman. She's your representative that will help you climb up in circles that you couldn't before. Therefore, it's important that you flex a beautiful woman. So conceptually, I'm cool with it, but lyrically, it's lacking. Nothing noteworthy, simply just wants the concept and production to carry the track, but neither of those are all that strong. I wish the drums weren't just added in the end. It feels like the song was building towards a climax that was super anticlimactic. It's not horrible, but it's not the hit that he needs. Blxst Don't Forget featuring Drakeo the Ruler. Blxst is another artist that I'm watching. The difference between him and Brent is the song No Love Lost actually showed me something. So very close to making the playlist, but was like the final cut of the 52-man roster. A more talented singer, but not by much as people would think, and needs more time to develop as well. See, he's talented enough to sound like he's of the Travis Scott musical bloodline. Listen to the song Gang Slide and tell me I'm wrong, but is versatile enough to have multiple sounds, like how the very next song, Be Alone, channels Ty Dolla $ign. Just all of his styles are complete duplications of others, and they're not super impressive on those levels. It's like the Ray Charles movie. People want to hear Blxst, not renditions of more popular acts. He has to find himself, and again, I think the right producer is needed to take him to that next level. And really, of all the sounds you want to go for, you choose Blueface. Of course, he had to get a renaissance of Blueface and Drakeo the Ruler. Keep it 100, that West Coast production that Blueface uses isn't all bad. It's reminiscent of Warren G. He's just horrendous. This track shows the potential that production has to offer with a more talented artist, but this ain't it. Conceptually, he's telling us he isn't going to forget being on the bottom and how he was treated before his success. A common concept, but has been proven to create classic songs in the past. Reason being is we all usually start from the bottom and have to own our way to success. This is relatable to the masses, even if they never reach the destination that they hope. We need to hear more unique style from you, Blxst. Why do we need another Blueface? We're trying to get rid of the first one. I know crafting new sounds are difficult, but that's the job. And yes, this is part of an EP, and the second song is him channeling his inner Afro-Caribbean. Nah fam, that's been done a ton too, and that wasn't good either.